Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be flipping through my sketchbook of some Mars Attacks Red Sonya sketches. So something kind of a project came up for me recently, and it's a bucket list project. And that is, someone asked me to do a comic book cover for a comic book that's releasing, which is Mars Attacks Red Sonya. When I heard it was Mars Attacks, I was like, oh, definitely. I really want to do that. It's going to be super fun to do. And then on top of that, doing a comic book cover is kind of a art bucket list thing for me. In fact, I thought it'd be really cool to know what your guys' art bucket list things are. So for me, having an art show, so having a gallery show, which I actually had like 10 years ago. I had a show at a gallery with a bunch of paintings I did. It was a solo show. It was really great. I got it through a friend of mine. And so that was a check mark on my art bucket list. And then doing a comic book cover is another thing. And then making $1 million selling art is another bucket list thing. So if you guys have art bucket list items, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. So, but this is the cover that I ended up doing. So that is Red Sonya, and this cover doesn't have any of the logo for Mars Attacks Red Sonya at the top. This is the blank cover, which actually there's two comics being produced. There's the blank variant cover, which is more rare, which has no nothing on the front other than the artwork and my signature. And then there is the regular color cover, which has, you know, all the logo and everything like that, all the barcode and stuff on it as well. So there's going to be two comic books being produced. I love the art. I'll talk about the art for a second. It took me a while to come up with this this kind of composition. I looked at some Frank Frazetta stuff. I looked at some of the other stuff being produced. I really wanted Red Sonya to be kind of prominent, and I wanted you kind of to be looking up at her. She's this really important piece of the composition, and it's a triangular composition, which is pretty stable, but it's got like this sword that's flying towards this little Mars Attacks guy's head, and I just felt like it was pretty dynamic. Out of all the sketches and stuff that I had done and thought about, this is definitely the one that I like the most. So then it just came down to adding the detail and, you know, getting it exactly the way I wanted it. Yeah, so the first comics will be sold this Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, on Geek Nerd Nerds live sale. So Chris does live sales on Facebook, and the comic books will be, you guys can buy them on there. I think it's $5 for regular comic and then $10 for the blank variant cover. I will be signing comics on Thursday. I think it's going to be just a video thing. So if you want your comic signed, I'll be signing all the comics that were sold on Wednesday that day, so you can get a regular or a signed copy of the comic, which, you know, makes them more valuable, more rare, stuff like that. I'll also be doing some of these prints. So if you would like prints, or if you'd rather buy the comic from my comic book store, I'll be doing like print comic packages, and they'll all be signed as well. So I just wanted to talk about that because the whole sketchbook is dedicated to this, at least for the most part. This first page are just, when I first heard about the project, I'm like, okay, Red Sonya, let's do some sketches, think about how we might draw her. She's a warrior girl, just kind of get the ball rolling kind of thing. So and these are just done with Big Pen and markers. This was just a quick doodle page of some Mars Attacks guys for fun. This was a fun page, more stylized in kind of like, I don't know if it's that 80s action style. I was thinking about doing an over-the-top type cover, but yeah, I just felt like it was too, you know, the angle of everything was kind of just, you're sitting right there in front of it. I wanted it to be a little bit more extreme, and the pose was just a little bit stiff on this one, so, but just a fun little sketch. And then I thought about doing, like, if we did another comic or another version where the Mars Attacks guys had won, I thought about doing like something like this where, you know, they either turned her into a dog. And I think I'll probably do some blank variant covers where I do some funny Mars Attacks stuff. Because honestly, there's just so many options with Mars Attacks that to make funny, cool art that, you know, it's hard to settle on one idea. This was just a full head shot of one of the aliens. Just to kind of, I thought about maybe doing something like this, but I wanted it to be more dynamic. So I ended up, you know, not going forward with any idea like this one. I did one of Red Sonya as well. This is just quick sketch of her face. I thought about doing some different facial expressions. I wanted her to have attitude, obviously, and this was, I felt like, you know, exaggerating her features and stuff would be cool, which I kind of did on the cover. I thought sometimes you're looking at something and with so much detail, I wanted her to have like an intensity in her face, which she kind of does. I mean, it's not as exaggerated as that sketch I just showed you guys, but I felt like I got it okay to where I wanted it. So this, was a more dynamic one. I was gonna do like this giant Mars Attacks guy and then little guys down below. This sketch, so a mistake I did on this is I used brown because I ran out of purple shadows, and look how hideous that looks compared to like the shadows that I normally do with the purple that actually look like shadows. This looks like she's like covered in mud or something. It's just like the worst drawing. So, but as far as composition, this one actually wasn't a bad composition. I just wanted her to be more prominent, so I ended up like not really liking this idea. This definitely makes him, like the Mars Attacks guys, more prominent, and where she's kind of a smaller character, especially if I shrunk it down to a comic book size. So I ended up kind of scrapping that idea. This was going to be a much more subtle Red Sonya, like battlefield picture, bunch of dead Mars Attacks guys laying around, things like that. The only reason I was really close to doing something like this, which I still think would have been a great cover. It's just a lot of the covers kind of were like that, that I had seen, and I kind of wanted something a little bit more dynamic. So I ended up kind of going in a different direction. These were some fun little ideas I had where the Mars Attacks guys are kind of funny because they're just like skulls with big brains attached to the skulls as far as the drawing style. And so I thought, what if you were to kind of design them a little bit better, you know, like concept art, give them a little bit more of an exaggerated face. So that was kind of what I did here. These were some videos I had recently done with my daughters where we drew characters, so that's not related at all, but still in my sketchbook, so I'll show it. You can watch me draw this video, or this guy, and this one right here. This was an original character me and my daughter did, based off her cat. Another video that you guys can watch. These two were released right before this one, so if you want to watch me draw either one of those, you can. These were kind of some pen and ink stuff that I was, because, you know, deciding on the style of the cover is also an important part of this. I ended up going digital for the cover art because I just wanted to have every option I could, and I also wanted to make sure the colors really popped. I didn't really talk about the colors on this, but I absolutely love, my favorite part about this cover that I did is the color scheme. I love the oranges and the reds and the purples. I feel like, you know, the contrast with the green and the orange, it really pops, and that was something I was really happy with. So yeah, I mean, color scheme, all that stuff kind of comes into play when you're designing a cover. This is another random little character. I was thinking this isn't related to Red Sonya, but it was something I was kind of working on. So here was another idea where she's kind of jumping through the air, slicing maybe some heads off and stuff like that. This was a pretty rough sketch idea for it. But this was would have been a cool idea. Much more movement, like dynamic movement in this. I just felt that, I mean, when it came down to this one and that kind of one from behind, I just liked the cover I chose a little bit better. One thing about this cover also is I definitely had some influence from Frazetta and stuff like that with, you know, her thighs and how like her proportions and stuff that I wanted to show through, because Frazetta is one of my favorite artists ever. So I kind of wanted to, although the style is his is much more beautiful, but you know, I had to make it my own as well. So, and then let's see, I think that's it for now. So those were the sketches that were in this book, but I have sketches that I plan on actually putting in the backs of some of the drawings or some of the comic books when they're sold. So if you do buy comics, buy this cover from Chris on Wednesday. I do plan on doing some sketches and stuff like that. So if you buy some, you might get one. It's going to be kind of a fun thing where it'll be like kind of a surprise. Like I said, I'm going to try and sign as many covers as I can. I will be getting some for myself that you will probably be able to buy from my website. I can't guarantee that yet. I don't know what sales are going to be like on Wednesday. But the live sale on Wednesday on Geek Geek Nerd Nerd on Facebook, if you've never been one, you just say claim. It'll be next to a number and a letter. It'll be like claim 4F or claim, it'll be claim 5 something, 5F, and you just hit claim, and then Chris will get your information and he'll ship you comics if you live far away. Or you can just buy the posters like this from my website. I'll be offering signed posters as well. So anyway, this is really an awesome thing for me as far as, you know, like I said, my bucket list of art projects and things like that. I always wanted to do a comic book cover. So anyway, I hope you guys like the cover. I look forward to seeing you in the live sale, and thanks for supporting my channel, guys. You know, these projects like this, I do a lot of little drawing because I love to draw. And like many of you guys, I just love to draw. I'll always draw, even if it's not for any other reason than just enjoyment. But when I do get to do a big project like this, and the comic is produced by Dynamite Comics, which they seem really cool. Like I've been posting some teaser drawings on Twitter and stuff, and they've been retweeting them out and stuff like that. So, and there's tons of other covers that some other artists did as well. So I'll be sharing those with you guys in another video. If you want to see those other covers, check out Dynamite Comics on the website, Twitter, anything like that. You can kind of see all the different cover art for like Red Sonya, Vampirella, some other stuff. So anyway, that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it, and I will catch you guys later.